In a world where thunder was not merely a force of nature, but a law that ruled existence itself, one man dared to step into its heart, not to survive it, but to understand it. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Only by venturing deeper and embracing the thunder can I truly accelerate my cultivation. If I linger at the edge, even if I absorb 10 times as much lightning and the effect appears identical, the difference in truth is vast, immeasurable. Wang Lin pondered in silence as he walked toward the heart of the Thunder Lake. The moment his foot descended, ripples spread across the surface of lightning beneath him. That single step stirred the lake, summoning countless bolts of thunder that converged with a deafening roar. His mind was utterly focused. Lightning shimmered faintly within his eyes. His origin soul was like his heart at this moment. Though it did not beat in fleshly pulses, it throbbed with thunder, sending waves of crackling energy throughout his body. His body itself was forged from thunder. Thus, the lightning flooding into him encountered no resistance. As his origin soul released greater and greater surges of power, the thunder coursed freely through his meridians, detonating in a chain of internal explosions. The rumbling echoed inside him. Wang Lin stepped forward once more. Instantly, a violent storm erupted within the Thunder Lake. Vast torrents of lightning descended from above, weaving together into what seemed like a true prison of thunder, an inescapable cage that barred all living things from advancing even half a step. Within that storm lay a boundless might of thunder. Compared to it, the thunder contained in Wang Lin's origin soul was like a firefly set against the brilliance of the full moon. This place is truly strange. The power of the thunder here is simply astonishing. As his foot landed again, a thunderous explosion resounded, reverberating across the entire lake. He did not pause. He advanced 10 steps in succession. Each step triggered a detonation fiercer than the last, as though heaven and earth themselves were quaking. His speed was astonishing. Those 10 steps were taken almost in the blink of an eye. The rolling thunder shook the void, and the resulting shockwave surged outward in all directions. For a fleeting instant, it seemed as if the entire world had been engulfed in lightning. The sight was overwhelming, apocalyptic in its grandeur. Yet Wang Lin could go no further. Though he was still only at the lake's edge, his origin soul had reached its limit. A single additional step would wound it. My origin soul has devoured half of an ancient thunder dragon. My body is forged of lightning itself. My very being is scarcely distinguishable from true thunder. And yet I must stop here. The thunder in this place is simply too powerful. Reluctance flickered within his heart as he fell into deep contemplation. Not far away, Shen Gonghu frowned, a trace of disappointment surfacing in his eyes. The reverence that had once burned there dimmed noticeably. This isn't right. With Senior's cultivation, why would he stop there? Could it be? His eyes suddenly brightened. Beside him, the Thunder Beast watched intently. The fear in its gaze lessened slightly. The silver-horned Thunder Beast, however, did not stir. It continued cultivating, as though it had already anticipated this outcome. As time passed and Wang Lin remained motionless, Shen Gonghu's disappointment deepened. He sighed softly. For 2 years he had yearned to witness a supreme thunder spell from the one to whom he had pledged loyalty. But he had seen nothing. The stark contrast gnawed at him. The towering reverence he once held for Wang Lin weakened considerably. Even his Tao heart, long extinguished, began to stir faintly back to life. Though 100 steps is an insurmountable chasm for me now, once I break through to the Nirvana Scryer stage, I will surely accomplish it. But as a senior, how could he possess only this much strength? His expression darkened as he continued to observe carefully. Wang Lin, however, stared at the Thunder Lake before him. Gradually, it was as though everything else ceased to exist. The world faded away, leaving only the boundless sea of lightning. Just as when he had once stood outside the gate, gazing into the gap that led into the heaven-defying bead space back then, too, he had forgotten even his own body. Now once more he beheld only the endless thunder. Time lost its meaning. After an indeterminate span, after forgetting time, forgetting himself, Wang Lin moved. He stepped forward casually. It was a simple step, unhurried and unremarkable, yet it fell at precisely the right moment. A bolt of thunder materialized exactly where his foot descended. It was as though he had stepped directly upon that lightning. Shen Gonghu's dimming reverence froze. His gloomy expression shattered into shock. It felt as though a sliver of enlightenment had brushed past him, close enough to sense yet impossible to grasp. The armored thunderbeast also started, its eyes narrowing sharply. Wang Lin's face remained calm and expressionless. His eyes were empty, distant. He took another step. Again, at the instant his foot touched down, a bolt of thunder appeared beneath it. Then another step, and another. From beginning to end, he moved with effortless ease, as though strolling through his own courtyard rather than advancing into a lake of annihilating lightning. With every step, thunder arose to support him. Shen Gonghu's eyes flew wide open. He drew in a sharp breath. Once could be coincidence, twice perhaps fortune, even 3 times might be dismissed as luck. But every single step, this transcended accident. It defied explanation. In Shen Gonghu's eyes, Wang Lin had become the sovereign of all thunder beneath the heavens. The Thunder Lake's strange behavior was unmistakable. It was welcoming him. Yes, welcoming him. Shock flooded Shen Gonghu's entire being. Excitement surged through him like a storm unleashed. He had waited 2 years for this. The armored thunder beast suddenly lifted its head. Awe returned to its gaze, but unlike its master, it understood something deeper. The Thunder Lake was not welcoming Wang Lin. Rather, every step Wang Lin took landed precisely upon a vein of the Thunder Lake itself. In the distance, the silver-horned thunder beast abruptly rose to its feet. Its massive eyes brimmed with unprecedented horror as it stared fixedly at Wang Lin. To Wang Lin's sight, the Thunder Lake no longer existed. Instead, he saw flickering strands of light appearing and vanishing in subtle rhythms. Each time he stepped, he placed his foot upon a shining strand. A wordless enlightenment bloomed in his heart. It felt correct, natural, as though this were always the proper way. He stepped forward again and again, forgetting all else. Shen Gonghu trembled, scarcely daring to blink. He feared missing even a fraction of what unfolded before him. Wang Lin's movements grew faster and faster until only an after-image remained, but unfailingly, thunder formed beneath his feet. At last, a brilliant flash erupted from Wang Lin's body, and a ferocious thunderstorm exploded outward around him. Amid the raging waves of lightning, he resembled a solitary boat, calm, steady, unshaken. Terrifying. This is true thunder magic. This is real thunder. Reverence blazed anew in Shen Gonghu's eyes. His heart pounded violently against his ribs. The reverence he now felt surpassed even that of 2 years prior. It had ascended to something bordering on blind faith. The thunder beast beside him trembled violently. Its awe was even deeper. In its perception, Wang Lin was no longer merely a cultivator of thunder, he was its origin. If Wang Lin commanded it to attack Shen Gonghu at this moment, it would obey without the slightest hesitation. The silver-horned thunder beast was even more shaken. Memories buried within its inherited bloodline stirred violently, and disbelief rippled through its entire being. Then suddenly Wang Lin stopped. The wondrous vision vanished as abruptly as it had come, without trace, without residue. The moment he halted, awareness returned. Confusion filled his eyes. It took a long time before clarity gradually resurfaced. Though his offensive power had not increased, his understanding of thunder had deepened profoundly. He knew that what he had glimpsed was tied to his comprehension of the third step. Compared to that insight, even celestial spells and supreme treasures seemed trivial. It was like an ant glimpsing the human world, seeing towering cities and magnificent structures. Upon returning to its tiny burrow, the ant would never again perceive its world the same way. Wang Lin now felt exactly this. When he regained full awareness, he discovered he was already within the inner region of the Thunder Lake. Though still far from its center, the remaining distance could no longer be measured in mere steps. Here, the thunder was far denser than at the edge. Each strand carried immense origin energy. Wang Lin sat down and absorbed a single strand. The instant it entered his body, he trembled violently, as though struck by an overwhelming force. His limbs went numb, and even his origin soul seemed to slow, as if submerged in heavy water. Shen Gonghu withdrew his gaze, reverence peaking within his heart. Having gained a sliver of enlightenment from what he witnessed, he prepared to sit and cultivate. But suddenly his brow furrowed. His eyes turned cold as he looked toward the distant asteroid field. A streak of purple light shot across the void. Within it was a wooden sword, and upon that sword stood a figure. "This place is certainly lively." A mocking voice drifted slowly through the thunder-filled sky. The sword was wooden, yet its entire body glowed with a deep violet radiance. A cold, ferocious aura emanated from it, as though it had drunk the blood of countless foes. Purple light streamed behind it in long, trailing ribbons, staining the void with its passing. The streak of violet halted just beyond the Thunder Lake. Standing upon the sword was a man of about 30. His complexion was pale and smooth, unmarred by even a trace of facial hair. His features were refined, almost handsome, but his phoenix-shaped eyes carried an unsettling softness, a faintly feminine charm that clashed strangely with the blade-like aura surrounding him. He wore a golden-purple robe that fluttered as though stirred by an invisible wind. His gaze swept past Shen Gonghu without pause, settling directly upon Wang Lin. The instant he saw what lay before him, his pupils contracted almost imperceptibly. Every pore on his body opened at once, as though instinct itself had sensed danger. The moment this man appeared, Shen Gonghu's expression darkened. The thunder beast beside him rose to its feet and released a low growl, hostility blazing in its eyes. As for the silver-horned thunder beast, it merely withdrew its gaze from Wang Lin and glanced lazily at the feminine man. Disdain flickered in its enormous eyes. It remained sprawled upon the ground, idly toying with the surrounding strands of thunder. Those violent threads of lightning became as docile as silk beneath its control. They drifted around its body like gentle fingers, scratching an itch utterly obedient. On a distant asteroid, the celestial guard remained seated, unmoving. It did not even spare the newcomer a glance. If this man threatened its master, it would attack without hesitation, even if it meant its own destruction. That was the command branded upon its soul. But if there was no threat to its master, then even if this man slaughtered 100,000 people before its eyes, it would not lift a single finger. "Zhan Konglie," Shen Gonghu said coldly. The feminine man carefully withdrew his gaze from Wang Lin, wary of causing any misunderstanding. In his eyes, Wang Lin's cultivation appeared to be only at the late stage of ascendant. Yet for such a cultivator to stand within the inner region of the Thunder Lake was absurd, unfathomable. Either this man possessed a heaven-defying treasure beyond imagination, or he was concealing a cultivation level so profound it defied perception. His gaze flicked briefly toward the silver-horned thunder beast and the puppet nearby. His suspicions deepened. He must possess some hidden treasure. It's impossible that he's concealing his cultivation. But why are there two thunder beasts here? Could he also be a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple? After all, the inner ring of the Thunder Lake was a place even he, at the peak of the corporeal Yang stage, could not step into. The very thought of it sent a chill through him. "It's Shen Gonghu of the Shen Gong family. I didn't recognize you at first. Your cultivation has fallen quite a bit," Zhan Kongli said coolly, fixing his gaze upon Shen Gonghu. Shen Gonghu snorted inwardly, though his expression remained composed. Only the gloom in his eyes betrayed his thoughts. "This place is not for you. Why haven't you left yet?" Though his injuries had not healed, and his cultivation had yet to recover with Wang Lin present, even if the Lord of the Thunder Celestial Temple himself arrived, he would still dare to speak in this manner. Zhan Kongli frowned and glanced subconsciously at Wang Lin before replying slowly, "Such bold words. Does this Thunder Lake belong to your Shen Gong family? You forbid outsiders simply because you brought a junior here to cultivate." Shen Gonghu sneered but offered no explanation. "If you do not leave within 3 breaths," he said coldly, "then you need not leave at all." He had always disliked this prodigious talent of the Zhan family. If their strengths were not so evenly matched, they would have long since fought to the death. If Zhan Congli proved ungrateful and disturbed Senior's cultivation, Shen Gonghu would attack even in his weakened state. He believed that as long as Senior cast that single gaze upon Zhan Congli, it would be enough to shatter him completely. After all, Zhan Congli was not a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Killing him would be troublesome, but with Senior here, even that trouble would become insignificant. Zhan Congli's eyes narrowed as he retreated slightly. He was cautious by nature. As he stepped back, his gaze fell once more upon Wang Lin, deep within the Thunder Lake, and the doubts in his heart intensified. Why does Shen Gonghu speak with such confidence? His injuries are obvious to anyone with discernment. Is he bluffing? And if he is not, then there must be a reason. Could it be this junior? Thoughts raced through his mind. 3 breaths have passed. Shen Gonghu grinned coldly and rose to his feet. Thunder exploded throughout his body with sharp, crackling sounds as he charged forward. The Thunder Beast roared and followed close behind. Yet as it stepped out, it subconsciously glanced toward Wang Lin. Its eyes brimmed with awe without the slightest trace of doubt. That single look made Zhan Congli's heart tremble. Shen Gonghu might be cunning, but the Thunder Beast was different. The message hidden within its gaze was not something one could examine too deeply. The answer implied there shook Zhan Congli to his core. True to his cautious temperament, he retreated without hesitation. "Shen Gonghu, I am a considerate man," he called out loudly. "If we battle here, it will inevitably disturb your junior's cultivation. If you wish to fight, let us go beyond the asteroid field." He emphasized the word junior. Shen Gonghu stepped out of the Thunder Lake, his eyes turning icy. Why go through the trouble? This place will suffice. The more resolute Shen Gonghu appeared, the stronger Zhan Congli's unease grew. It was as though Shen Gonghu were deliberately provoking him, trying to force him into action. That absurd speculation resurfaced in his mind. His eyes flashed. Forming a seal with one hand, a streak of purple thunder coalesced within his palm. Beneath him, the wooden sword released a surge of sword energy. The two forces fused, forming an immense pressure that swept outward. Within that pressure was origin energy. This was merely his opening move, yet he had already invoked an origin spell. His caution was evident. The battle teetered on the brink of eruption. Shen Gonghu stepped forward, his finger pointing toward the heavens as though summoning divine retribution. The Thunder Beast roared, drawing countless bolts of lightning toward its body. The spectacle was earth-shaking. At that very instant, Wang Lin slowly opened his eyes. His voice was calm, almost indifferent. "Shen Gonghu, I will not assist you in this battle. Let this be your trial for pledging yourself to me. If you lose, I will return your Dao soul." His expression remained neutral, yet inwardly he was filled with helplessness. Against either Shen Gonghu or Zhan Congli, he stood no chance. If Shen Gonghu were defeated, his own situation would become dire. He had only sought a quiet place to cultivate, yet trouble seemed determined to follow him. When Zhan Congli appeared, Wang Lin quickly weighed the situation and chose these words. Shen Gonghu's body trembled. The battle intent in his eyes surged to its peak. He stared at Zhan Congli, but answered Wang Lin with deep respect. "Lord may rest assured. Shen Gonghu will not be defeated." Taking a deep breath, he retrieved a jade bottle from his storage bag. Zhan Congli's face changed drastically. When Wang Lin spoke, he had seen the hidden reverence in Shen Gonghu's eyes. For a moment he thought he had seen wrongly. The Thunder Beast too had trembled when Wang Lin's voice rang out as though struck by instinctive fear. And then there was that word, pledge. If those signs had merely sown doubt, Shen Gonghu's reply shattered it. "Lord." In the all-heaven star system, that word was not uttered lightly, especially not by second-step cultivators. Only one who had truly pledged themselves to a higher existence would use such a title. Zhan Congli did not believe Shen Gonghu capable of feigning this. The man was notoriously arrogant, one who would rather die than demean himself. Moreover, even if they fought, it would be nearly impossible for either to perish. At worst, they would suffer grievous wounds. Even Zhang Congli himself would never call someone lord simply to avoid a battle that did not threaten his life. All his prior suspicions converged. The absurd thought returned once more, this time like a blade of ice. Could it be he did not rely on a treasure to enter the inner Thunder Lake? Could it be he has concealed his cultivation all along? If not, how could the arrogant Shen Gonghu kneel and call him lord? Zhang Congli inhaled sharply and retreated again. "Brother Shengong, do not act rashly," he said hurriedly. Shen Gonghu's eyes turned glacial. He crushed the jade bottle in his hand. Within it had been a single crimson pill, which he swallowed without hesitation. At once his aura turned violent, tyrannical. "Zhang Congli, fight me!" With a thunderous roar, his finger pierced the sky. The origin energy within him surged forth, and in an instant a dragon-like bolt of lightning descended from the void. The Thunder Lake responded. Countless strands of lightning gathered toward him. When Wang Lin witnessed this origin spell, a strange glimmer appeared in his eyes. This technique was formidable, drawing upon one's own origin energy to summon heavenly thunder. It was in no way inferior to the origin furnace spell. Though less grand in spectacle, it was even more destructive. Zhang Congli's expression shifted again as he retreated. His foot tapped lightly, and the wooden sword beneath him shot forward. With a single gesture, he directed it outward. Wrapped in violent purple light, it tore through the void with a deafening rumble. Shen Gonghu's eyes burned with battle intent. He would unleash every ounce of strength he possessed. Because Senior was watching, Shen Gonghu let out a furious roar. His hand trembled faintly. Though his injuries had partially recovered, and he had swallowed a pill from the Thunder Celestial Temple to forcibly suppress the damage, allowing him to momentarily return to his peak, it was still not enough to fully sustain this spell. Gritting his teeth, he brought his right hand down with sudden force. The divine tribulation lightning that had formed above crashed down with unimaginable might. Zhang Congli's expression darkened instantly. His hands formed seals in rapid succession, and he spat out a mouthful of his own vital essence onto the wooden sword beneath him. The sword howled sharply, its body trembling as it erupted with overwhelming sword energy and shot straight toward the descending divine lightning. When the two forces collided, a thunderous explosion tore through the void. Lightning shattered. The wooden sword recoiled. The remnant origin energy reached a critical point and detonated outward, crushing countless nearby asteroids into drifting dust. Zhang Congli's body trembled as he staggered back several steps. His face turned pale, yet his eyes burned gloomily as he stared at Shen Gonghu. Anger surged within him, and battle intent began to rise in his gaze as well. Shen Gonghu also retreated, forced back until he stepped once more into the Thunder Lake. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. Yet he smiled. "I've always found your feminine face unpleasant to look at. I didn't expect you to have some skill after all." Wang Lin's eyes flickered. He had observed the clash with utmost focus. Though he knew he could not withstand even a single strike from either of these corporeal Yang origin spells, what he gained from watching was invaluable. However, he noticed something. Shen Gonghu's origin spell was imperfect. The divine retribution lightning should have been stronger. After all, Wang Lin had glimpsed the world of the third step. Before stepping into the inner ring of the Thunder Lake, he had faintly perceived the law of thunder itself. It was therefore no surprise that he could see the flaw in Shen Gonghu's technique. It was like a mortal who knew no martial arts, yet had read countless secret manuals. When watching masters exchange blows, such a spectator could sometimes perceive subtle mistakes, though they themselves could never execute the techniques. Wang Lin was in precisely that state. His eyes brightened slightly. "Shen Gonghu," he said calmly, "your origin spell contains the power of thunder, but not its soul. Though your Tao heart has fused with it, it is not enough. Your faith lacks the true spirit of thunder." Shen Gonghu was startled. These were not new words to him. The Lord of the Thunder Celestial Temple and his own family elders had once said something similar, yet hearing them from Wang Lin made his heart tremble. He cupped his hands respectfully. "Please guide me, my lord." Not only Shen Gonghu, but even the distant Jian Kongli was shaken. That absurd speculation in his mind grew stronger. He had the same problem. The elders of the Jian family had once mentioned this flaw, but comprehension of such matters relied upon personal enlightenment. Even the elders themselves were still exploring, uncertain whether the path they walked was correct. After all, who could confirm whether their direction toward the third step was truly right? No one had seen it. No one except Wang Lin. Wang Lin had glimpsed the third step. He knew the direction of advancement. Others hesitated to speak, fearing they might mislead. But Wang Lin did not hesitate because he knew what he said was correct. The scene was utterly bizarre. Just moments ago, Shen Gonghu and Jian Kongli had been locked in fierce combat battle, intent roaring like wildfire. Now both had stopped. Both gazes were fixed upon Wang Lin. Shen Gonghu's eyes were filled with blind reverence. Jian Kongli's were filled with deep doubt. Wang Lin did not elaborate further. Such matters could not be explained clearly through words. When the moment of enlightenment arrived, one would understand. Without that opportunity, even 1,000 explanations would be useless. After a brief silence, Wang Lin raised his right hand and casually pinched the air. A strand of thunder descended into his palm. In the eyes of Shen Gonghu and Jian Kongli, its power was nothing remarkable. But what happened next caused both men to gasp. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. He stared at the strand of lightning and waved his hand gently. The thunder vanished. What remained was a flickering wisp of light. It trembled for only a moment before collapsing. Wang Lin closed his eyes, concealing the exhaustion that flashed within them. If not for the danger of the present situation, he would never have bothered with such a display. With eyes closed, he asked softly, "Do you understand? Origin, returning to origin." Shen Gonghu's eyes shone brilliantly. His body trembled with excitement. Without hesitation, he bowed deeply. His reverence surged, nearly reaching worship. It was as though a thin sheet of paper in his heart had been pierced through. Enlightenment descended upon him in that instant. He turned toward Jian Kongli, eyes blazing. "Let us fight again." Jian Kongli's scalp went numb. All doubts vanished. The absurd speculation in his mind was no longer absurd. He took several steps back, then bowed respectfully toward Wang Lin. "This junior is Jian Kongli. I did not know senior was cultivating here. I offended you earlier, please forgive me. I shall leave at once." His gaze flicked toward Shen Gonghu with undisguised envy. Now he understood why someone as arrogant as Shen Gonghu would pledge himself to another. With a faintly sour tone, he clasped his hands. "Congratulations, brother Shen Gong." Shen Gonghu did not respond. He merely regarded Jian Kongli coldly. Jian Kongli laughed lightly. "Brother Shen Gong, I have already received a summon book from the Thunder Celestial Temple. In the future, you and I will both be messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple." He bowed once more toward Wang Lin before turning and departing without hesitation. Shen Gonghu did not pursue him, though frost filled his eyes. Wang Lin asked calmly, "What is a summon book?" Shen Gonghu immediately turned and replied respectfully, "It is a communication token issued by the Thunder Celestial Temple. Any candidate to become a messenger receives one. 3 months before the Thunder Celestial Realm opens, the Thunder Celestial Hall reorganizes its messengers. If there are vacancies, candidates compete for the positions. With Jian Kongli's cultivation, if nothing unexpected occurs, I fear he will secure the spot." Wang Lin nodded slightly and spoke no more. He resumed absorbing thunder, converting it into origin energy. Shen Gonghu, still flushed with enlightenment, immediately sat within the Thunder Lake to cultivate as well. Time flowed silently. In the blink of an eye, 8 years passed. Adding the previous 10 years slipped away like smoke. Within Wang Lin, the origin energy gradually stabilized. His origin soul had become full, so full it could absorb no more. He understood. His cultivation level was not yet high enough. Only upon stepping into the second step could he continue absorbing origin energy. What he needed now was breakthrough. He rose and looked at the surrounding thunder. 10 years of immersion had deepened his understanding. He felt as though he could faintly perceive the source of thunder itself, though it remained blurred and distant. His body shifted. He left the inner region of the Thunder Lake and walked toward its edge. Shen Gonghu had been dismissed 3 years earlier. Though reverent, his presence unsettled Wang Lin. Before leaving, Shen Gonghu had left behind a jade slip. The silver-horned thunder beast approached obediently. Wang Lin sat upon it, and the beast transformed into a streak of lightning, leaving the Thunder Lake behind. The celestial guard returned once more to Wang Lin's shadow. After 10 years of tempering within the Thunder Lake, the Thunder Beast's speed had increased dramatically. It shot out of the asteroid field and vanished among the stars. Wang Lin was already aware of the changes within the heaven-defying bead. The 3 souls inside were not weakened. In fact, they shone brighter than before. In 20 years, the Thunder Celestial Realm will open. I must go. But before that, I need a hidden place to break through. And the heaven-defying bead, it no longer requires the power of the 5 elements. What does it need now? He pondered deeply. The bead had split into yin and yang, yet the 2 halves had not fused. Sun and moon, yin and yang. As the Thunder Beast traversed the starlit void, Wang Lin retrieved the jade slip Shen Gonghu had left behind. It contained a detailed star map of the southern domain of the All-Heaven star system, with thorough annotations. With this, he would not lose his way. The region ahead was considered wilderness desolate planets with little of value. Powerful cultivators rarely ventured here. Yet mortals lived upon many of those worlds, along with minor cultivation families. In 20 years, I must prepare. Many of my spells require refinement. They do not align with the 3rd step I glimpsed. If I persist in using them unchanged, my path will deviate, and the resentful spirits required for my underworld river must be gathered quickly. It is also time that I establish my own cultivation planet within the All-Heaven star system. His eyes brightened. Ahead lay a planet brimming with vitality, teeming with mortal life. It reminded him of planet Suzaku. A faint homesickness stirred within him. Wang Lin leapt down from the Thunder Beast. The beast let out a pitiful cry before reluctantly transforming into a war chariot and returning to his storage bag. Just as Wang Lin prepared to descend toward the planet, his expression shifted. From within his storage bag, a powerful fluctuation erupted from the celestial sword. It carried an ancient sword, intent domineering and wild. A voice roared out triumphantly, "Damn sword intent! Your grandpa Zhu has finally conquered you. From today onward, I am the true sword spirit. I'm very badass. Extremely badass."